Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is the Papa Joe Show, where Papa Joe knows. I am your host, Papa Joe, and I do appreciate y'all being here today. I've been out of pocket and finally getting back into the swing of things, so I do appreciate y'all's patience. It has been, I needed to step away, spend some time working on some business related relationships. So, very, very fun, cool stuff coming out of those. So, we'll see what happens in the not too far future. Those of you who are new to the show, do me a favor and subscribe. It does help the channel grow. It does help. It does help YouTube know that the content here is actually worth other people's time. The likes also, but you can do those towards the end of the show. But anyhow, if you do like what you see here and whatnot, I do appreciate those of you who do smash them. It does indeed help for sure. So there's a live chat running. Do me a favor and say hey. I have nothing else. I want to know who's watching. I do have friends and family who pick up the show from time to time, and I love it when y'all do. If you're not catching the show live, drop me a comment under the video. At least let me know you're there. And if you don't mind, check out all the links in the description of the video. There are multiple things that I have in there. One of them is the Patreon that I do, and that is where I take the gloves off, talk about the fun stuff that gets normal channels censored. So we will leave that with that. Those of you who have joined that, it does mean a lot to me. It does help the channel move forward, and it does help this type of stuff happen. So thank you for those of you who are part of that. Today we're going to take a look at some crazy stuff that the geriatrics up in Washington are saying about the economy. We're also going to take a look at some interesting things around the CBDCs that seem to be surfacing more and more and more. And just like I've said to my friends and family and all of you guys, amazing people here, CBDCs are not your friend. And we'll be taking a look at some interesting things around the tech giants, what they're doing when it comes to crypto, and then some very interesting developments with El Salvador. I think we'll do that towards the end of the show. So stick around towards the end and we will have some fun. So as I cough up a lung. Anyways, let's jump in, shall we? All right, cool. Let's jump into great the chat. It's fun stuff. Let's pop this in. Here we go. It's working here. Cool. All right. So Bitcoin is ticking down as it has been. This is the daily chart. Let's go to the hour chart, 2 hour chart. Not here we go. And it looks over the past couple of days, it has tried to pop itself up above 20,000 and keep itself there, but that's not what's going on. As I've said many times, I think all crypto and the entire stock market will collapse at some point or another. The Dow is gapping up and gapping down. NASDAQ, same thing, and the S&P 500. They're all kind of following each other as far as their different realms are concerned. And we go look at gold, we look at silver. I didn't find the article for whatever reason. I couldn't find it. But the Bank of England is going to stop with its QE apparently on Friday this week. And basically, whoever is in charge of that, told the hedge funds, not the hedge funds, the pension funds, they got 3 days to sell everything. So it should be very interesting next couple of days when it comes to the regular stock markets, the bonds, and all that fun stuff. The indexes seem like they're whatever. Divi is on sale again. It looks like it attempted to reach 2 cents over sometime last weekend ish. It looks like a interesting reverse head and shoulders there. Maybe I don't know charts. If you do, great, good on you. I just look at them and say, oh, that was fun. Let's see. Just see here. We got Matic is also looks like it's attempting to consolidate. Maybe we'll see it run, and then same with Axie. I follow Axie because it's a residual income on a game. It's kind of cool stuff. Hey, look at that number. 6.66 for the mortgage rates average across the country. Wouldn't you know it? What a number. Crazy stuff. Nothing is by chance, you know? You got the Dixie, which is running up, and the pound is as well. Oh, yeah, PayPal. Did y'all see what happened with PayPal? because that was a fun little drop, wasn't it? When they decided they were going to screw their customers for having an opinion. Yeah. Yeah. Still trying to figure out an alternative to some of the stuff I've got going on with that, but we'll see what happens, right? So, the geriatrics up in Washington. U.S. economy is doing well amid global economic uncertainty, says the Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. I mean, geriatric Yellen. Yeah, crazy stuff. Treasury Secretary said Thursday that the U.S. economy is doing very well as rising energy prices, hunger disease variants, and Russia's war on Ukraine have caught global markets in a vice grip. No, those are all smoke screens for them deciding to drop the gavel, whatever you want to call it, on the entire global economy. From the perspective of the United States, I think the United States is doing very well. Really? What fantasy world they live in, right? People are losing jobs. People are losing their homes now. People are having a hard time even putting food on their table. The vast majority of the Americans would disagree. I'm sorry. Yellen, you have no perspective on what's going on. Anyhow, the Treasury Secretary is meeting with world finance leaders in the International Monetary Fund, or the IMF, and the World's Bank's annual meetings this week in Washington, D.C. We're all going to be in one place. Anyway, she said the economy was expected to slow after a very strong recovery, but a recent jobs report released last week revealed that very resilient economy. Sure it does. Sure it does. Then the numbers they somehow arbitrarily say somewhere. Something is what it is. Anyhow, the Bureau of Labor Statistics report Friday that non-farm payrolls increased 263,000 in September, while the unemployment rate fell to 3.5%, tied for the lowest level since late 1969. I call BS on that one. I really do. I really call BS on that one. Just my opinion. You'll do what you want with that one. But there was a report out yesterday saying something to the effect that $175,000 dollars, no, that the economy will lose 175,000 jobs per month going forward. Sure, I could see that. I could see being more than that. We are in a recession, folks. We are probably going into a depression, and I don't like that any more than you do. But if you're prepared and not scared, like our wonderful, amazing friend Economic Ninja says, you're going to be just fine. If you've been smart and stacked silver, gold, crypto, realizing that cryptocurrency will most likely be the exit strategy for the entire global stock market and the monetary system as a whole, because it is everyone's money. There's not a sovereign nation dictating you have to use this. Trade happens seamlessly, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, there's a reason why CBDCs are very big in the news right now, and why all of the different entities are working so hard in creating their own digital currencies, because the people will use Bitcoin. They'll use Litecoin. They'll use Polygon. They'll use Divi. They'll use Ethereum. They'll use these tokens to means of exchange amongst each other, because there is no need for a central entity telling them what they can and can't do, or running the system. The you, the me, we all have the ability to run these systems together collectively as one, and yet completely separate individuals as a whole. People realize the power that gives you as a business, as a company, as a society, as humanity. Blockchain technology frees humanity from the constructs and control that we are under. It really does. It really does. Now, consumers, however, have been somewhat constrained by prices rising at close to their fastest pace in more than 40 years. The latest New York Fed survey on consumer expectations shows that consumers expect the inflation rate a year from now to be at 5.4%, the lowest number in a year, and declined from 5.75% in August. It's a survey. It's not real. But anyways, They expect the inflation to drop. How? They aren't being told that they printed 80% of the current monetary supply in the past or 2 years or between 2020 and well, it's still printing. They're still printing. How? We're at $31 trillion in national debt. How is this possible? Anyhow, I don't know. You pull your own conclusions. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, the geriatrics, she has no idea what she's doing. Flashbang has no idea what he's doing. We all know that. Except just saber rattling with Putin trying to start a war that has no ending that is positive for anyone around the world. Let's be honest with everybody. But we'll see what happens. There's some crazy stuff that could go down, and I'm not looking forward to it. Hope you are ready. Hope you're ready. Great stuff, right? Now, Swift releases a plan for digital currency. Yep, they're realizing they're writing on the wall and they're behind the curve and they're going bye-bye. Financial messaging system Swift has released plans for a worldwide central bank digital currency network. It's already there. It's already running. They've already been playing with it. They're just telling you about it now, just so you understand. Swift isn't just going to quietly go away. They've already worked on this. It's already done. The plan is the result of 8 months of tests using different technologies and currencies. Swift's test looked at how CBDCs could be used internationally and changed into traditional money if needed. For the last month, the trial has involved France and Germany's central banks, international banks like HSBC, Standard Chartered, and UBS. Interesting. UBS has been in the news recently. So is Credit Suisse. So is some other ones. Anyhow, 90% of the world's central banks are now using, testing, or studying CBDCs. Reuters reports that they are struggling with the technological complexities. It's really not that hard, folks. Just use Bitcoin. It's running. Just use Litecoin. It's running. Miners are running it. You don't need to worry about controlling it. They want to be able to take this net new technology and put it in their tiny little box. Their tiny little control mechanisms can maintain. This is why the SEC and all the other regulatory bodies are going after the stable coins, because they cannot be controlled, and they're trying to create a competitor so that they can say, hey, stable coins, you have to go away. You're illegal now because we've created your competitor and your replacement, and we require that you use this. And the rest of the world is going to go, yep, screw you. We don't need that anyways. We're going to use crypto. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, Polygon, Divi. Y'all see this? You see what's going on? Anyhow, it's a string. Nick, whatever his name is, as Swift's head of innovation, he describes Swift's plan as a bicycle wheel in which 14 central bank systems central and business banks are connected to a central point, its main hub. The test will be followed by additional tests over the next year. This isn't how you architect. It's not how you architect that. The blockchain technology is everywhere yet nowhere. It's standing up the nodes everywhere. Setting up a central node and having all the other banks have their own nodes is no different than the Swift system is now. These people have no imagination. It is hilarious, and yet they're still pushing central bank digital currencies, which are not your friend. Okay, they will be able to track everything you do, see everything you do, hear everything you say, watch everywhere you go, tell you you can or cannot spend, what you can spend your money on, how much you can spend your money on. Sounds like a great time, doesn't it? Yeah. But all of this is happening. The White House weighs Bitcoin regulation and plans to implement a central bank digital currency. The White House is planning to regulate the Bitcoin and stablecoin industry, and they are planning to create a central bank digital currency. What I can tell you is that the White House just did a final report from the FSOC, which is the Financial Stability Oversight Council, which is like the high council of all the regulators that look over what all the other regulators, like the SEC, does. There was also the White House framework on digital assets for the first time, and I think it's important to just uh, dissect a little bit about what this means. The key takeaways are that there's likely going to be a push to regulate the exchanges more and focus on the state subsidies and affiliates of exchanges that regulators look at, similar to the way they now look at banks for the Federal Reserve. When they do look at a bank's holding company or Bank of America, they look at what all other affiliates and subsidiaries are doing. What's interesting is that the key takeaways and themes of this new sort of framework that we have from the White House is to focus heavily on research and development into CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. Yeah, that's like number one. The number one is research and development of CBDCs. They don't know what they're doing. The number one priority, with the highest priority, and by the highest priority, the Federal Reserve, the White House, and the U.S. Treasury have formed a CBDC working group. So they are pushing all the levers to see what research and development needs to happen if the United States should choose to introduce CBDC. Oh my goodness. One thing that is not made public is that the Department of Justice also did a report in line with the executive order on digital assets, where they just transmitted a report, which is a findings as to what type of legislation the United States might need to introduce so that CBDCs cannot be authorized by the Federal Reserve. Well, that's interesting too. Crazy, huh? That's number one. And this person is like, I want to harp on that for a moment because I think there's still a genuine belief. I think that between Secretary Janet Yellen of the Treasury and also Jerome Powell at the Fed and others at the Fed who believe the United States can introduce a central bank digital currency not only to maintain the strength of the dollar in terms of what China is doing, but at the same time, they believe this will essentially quiet crypto, Bitcoin, right? Question mark. Yeah. People will not be as interested in Bitcoin necessarily. They're really trying to go after the stablecoin market, which is very true. They really are. To be honest, Bitcoin really isn't on the list. It's not, because they can't control it, because they didn't issue it, because it doesn't touch dollars. It is in and of itself its own currency. So therefore, they can't control it. They have no jurisdiction and they know it. Very, very cool stuff from that perspective, that Bitcoin's not on the list. It's more they're worried about these global stablecoins like Circle's USDC and I guess USDT, Tether. But there's still a fundamental belief. That is why they're pushing on all levers to see if the United States can introduce CBDC, because they see it as a problem solver for all of the issues they always describe come from things like Bitcoin and other coins. It's interesting. They also can't implement this without certain technological advancements that are already set up in place that I'm pretty sure, if I had to guess, had to do with Veritasium. Probably. I don't know. I would be very, very interested to see how that all worked out, because the patent's already there without having. It's kind of like Cliff always said. They're going to come knocking to Reggie and be like, "Hey, we need your technology now." Just a thought, I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. So, guess what else? The big boys. Google selects Coinbase to take cloud payments with cryptocurrencies and will use its custodial tool. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but it's something to think about. Google will start allowing a subset of customers to pay for cloud services with digital currencies early next year. And in addition, Google said it would explore using Coinbase Prime, a service for storing and trading cryptocurrencies. Coinbase will move some of its applications to Google's cloud platform, from Amazon Web Services. That's interesting. The article also talks about how they're going to enable GCP to be set up for smart contracts and blockchains and things like that. It's very, very, very cool stuff. I'm excited about this particular thing, mainly because being in IT, using Amazon Web Services, GCP, using all these other platforms for cloud computing, I'm very curious to see how this will play out from a standpoint of, I want to go stand up a blockchain. It's going to be stakeable, blah, blah, blah. Go send it up in GCP. Great. And I can actually pay you in the cryptocurrency. That would be fantastic. But here's the deal, guys and gals. Here's the deal. Our government's behind the curve as far as payments is concerned. SWIFT is freaking out behind the curve. The Treasury is saying that we are fine as an economy, and yet just about every business in some form or fashion is moving towards being able to do something with crypto, being able to accept it as payment because they see the writing on the wall. If your Federal Reserve, if the IMF, if the World Bank is all talking about building a new currency that is a central bank digital currency that is everywhere and yet nowhere, supposedly, it's not, but supposedly it is. They see the writing on the wall and they're like, there's going to be a time where we're going to have to accept Bitcoin as payment or Litecoin as payment or something as payment that is not US dollars or the yuan or whatever else. They're getting ready. They're getting ready to be able to flip a switch, have it usable for the time so that they can maintain themselves during this transition. And they may never have to flip back to whatever else because the CBDCs, in my opinion, are going to fail. According to Cliff, they're going to fail 3 times. They're going to try 3 times and fail. I don't know how rapid the secession will be, but we'll see what happens. It is going to be interesting. Now, all of this happening, and then guess what else? There's this new technological advancement that's being set up, which is fantastic. I can't wait to see this. I want to play with this myself. Tap to pay Bitcoin Lightning Bolt cards strike El Salvador. So El Salvador's whole Bitcoin is legal tender thing, yeah, that's a pretty profound thing. Now you have the traditional tap and pay with the cards that we're all used to, for the most part. Yeah, that is now tied to a account with your Bitcoin, and you can now spend it directly out of it, and it's a simple card like you typically have done in the past. Coin Corner, a Bitcoin Lightning-based card payment service provider, is looking to install near-field contact card readers, or NFC readers, across El Salvador to offer a seamless retail Bitcoin experience. Coin Corner is about to become one of the global leaders in payment processing systems on the Bitcoin Lightning Network. El Salvador-based Bitcoin holders could soon be able to spend their Bitcoin using a tap-to-pay feature wherever the near-field communication services, NFC, readers are available. The contactless pay service would be utilizing the Lightning Network, or LN, and to facilitate retail Bitcoin transactions. I'm curious to see if it would also work with Litecoin and other things as well. Yeah, cool stuff, right? I want to play with this stuff. I have lots of scenarios where that would make a lot of sense. I don't know, maybe Divi should work with Coin Corner. That would be an interesting partnership, wouldn't you think? Who knows? Maybe they already are. Crazy times, guys and gals. Crazy times. I'm gonna run through the chat here and say hey to everyone, as I gotta jump out of here in just a second because I have a meeting that starts 2 minutes. What's going on, Tom? How you doing, brother? Hope you're doing well. What's going on, Busy Mountain? It's good to see you. Sharon, yes, just in time. Thanks for being part of the show. Appreciate you being here. Bitcoin Bull, what's up, brother? Thanks for being part of the show. It's very, very, very cool to have you here, man. It is fantastic. Let's see, who else do we have in the chat here? Y'all having a conversation early We got Gloria. What's going on? Thanks for being here today. It's a beautiful day for sure. Let's see. We got Lithia in the house. What's up? Thanks for being here. It's a great day for you to be part of the show here. Let's see, Tom. I did not see. Would you say something else up here? Reach out to me directly, Tom. We'll talk about that. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. Sharon, I love the hat, Papa Joe. Thanks. I've considered making a merch line. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. People want to buy them or whatnot. Maybe I can do a hat, do a signed hat or something like that. I don't know. Maybe we'll have some fun with it. Bitcoin pool. I'm wearing my Papa Joe facial hair. Oh, I love it, brother. I love it. It ain't pretty. Oh, you're great, man. I love it. You're hilarious. Oh, let's see here. Who else is in here? We got Manny. What's up, brother? Thanks for being part of the show today. Oh, cool stuff. Got Fatty's Bar. What's up? How you doing today? I appreciate you being here. It is for sure. Do me a favor, if you are watching still, smash those likes. It does help YouTube know that. Yep, Tom, thank you. It does help YouTube know that the content is for sure worth another watch. Let's see who else we got here. We got Joe in the house. What's going on? Thanks for being here. It's been a little bit. I'm glad to be back in the swing of things. We'll have some fun. Let's see here. Interesting Bitcoin bull. Bix says CBDCs cannot be implemented without Reggie Milton's patent endorsement. I was mentioning that. I would have pulled that up had I seen you say this. Yeah, but that's what I presume the government wouldn't be interested in following the law. Right. They'll probably just confiscate it and run. Right. Somehow. Yeah. Oh, the joys. Oh, the joys. All right. Cool. Guys and gals, love it. Thanks for being part of the show. Remember, there's no Patreon this evening, but everything will be, I'll have regular shows on Friday. And y'all have a wonderful, beautiful, blessed day. And we'll talk to you soon. Take it easy.